I need help. Back in March of 2019, I posted a video titled Zelda Fan Game Development Log 001, Glass of Fate. It's been 6 years since I posted that video, and I haven't posted another development log since. It would be easy to assume that I just haven't done anything else on the project or that it's stagnated, but if you've been following the project, you would know that that isn't the case. I've been posting videos about the development of the game, they just haven't been development logs. What I've been posting is something I've found more interactive than devlogs, and that is, I figured out I can make time lapses. For several weeks on Thursdays, I've posted these development time lapses that have reached a grand total of 50 so far, and it's through these time lapses that everyone can see the progress of this fan game in real time. But this is taking a long time to make, and I have to support myself. So what I've been doing is that I've been working 2 jobs between videos. I'm starting to realize that this probably isn't enough. I really want to finish this fan game. And it's not just because I think making a fan game is really cool, but because it's taught me so many skills doing this project, and it's made me really appreciate what all goes into game development. I've had to teach myself everything on this project, from how to learn Blender, to how to make basic textures, to how to rip models, to how to recreate a Nintendo 64 style. There's a lot that goes into making this style than you would think. For example, a lot of people assume that you just take any photo or texture and scale it down to create that iconic Nintendo 64 look, but it's seldom ever that simple. When you scale down any image, a lot of detail is lost, and a lot of images and textures rely on micro details versus macro details to create a sense of depth and realism. When there's this much micro detail, it gets lost in the scaling process. So the only way to remedy this is to find textures with a lot of macro detail, or to make textures by hand at a maximum resolution of 192 by 192 pixels before scaling it down to 64 by 64 pixels to give it an authentic look. Another thing that would seem easy is the low poly modeling, but again, it isn't so simple. Nintendo 64 models were made with triangles in mind, and software like Blender makes their models using quads, which have a very different look to triangles because quads are easier to divide in subdivision. Modern software is made with realism in mind, so replicating a Nintendo 64 style can be a huge learning curve if you aren't ready for it, and it takes a lot of time to dedicate to learning it properly. These are just a few examples just to show you what's taking so long and to get to my ultimate point. It's come to this. I've opened a Patreon. On my Patreon, you'll be able to access all my videos 2 weeks ahead of everyone else. You'll get access to the new channel Discord early before I launch it next year and get exclusive content such as model files, illustrations, and concept art. This isn't just to support my fan game, but the future brand of this channel as a whole, because making a fan game isn't the end goal. The end goal is much bigger than that. This right here is early models and concept art for a Nintendo 64 style game called Unchosen that I've been working on. I can't just jump into this game because I have to understand what made the Zelda 64 games so special first. That's why I've been working so hard on this fan game, not because I want to make money off Nintendo, because I want to understand it, then copy and iterate it over to an original project. The general idea behind Glass of Fate is that I can develop a framework, make an original game out of it, then make the framework available for everyone to use, potentially free. This is just one of several ideas I've been working on. There's also a prototype called Roseheart that will try and recapture the magic of the original Legend of Zelda game for the NES and Famicom. There's a 2D farming simulator I've been working on, inspired off of ancient Egypt, and a 2D Metroidvania that's going to be a simple roguelike game with co-op. I know Patreon is a lot to ask for, and I probably don't have a lot of proof that I can actually go anywhere with all this, but I'm at a crossroads and I have to make a choice. I was the composer for an indie game called 12 Slots Loon that has a 3-hour demo on Steam right now. 12 Slots Loon failed to meet its Kickstarter goal, and as a major collaborator on that project, I put a lot of time and money into that I'm just not getting back anytime soon. It's not that James didn't pay me, it's that it was a collaborative project that just didn't pay off.
So this isn't about me. This is about enriching the world with ideas I believe strongly in, I want to see get made, and that I want to share with other people. If you're still skeptical of my ability and don't want to become a patron, I have an alternative way that has the potential to go even further.
I wrote a book that's available on Kindle right now called Vampires in Halvor. It's book 1 of 5, and if you buy that book and it doesn't impress you, you've only lost $5 because I'm selling it for only $5. As my least ambitious project, I believe that Vampires in Halvor is one of my best works in regards to the fact that it showcases how much work, dedication, and versatility I've gained as a creator.
If vampires aren't your thing, I get it, but that's why I wrote it, because I don't like them either, and wanted to write a story about them that even the most adamant vampire haters could find a reason to enjoy. If you don't read books on Kindle, I also get it. That's why I'm going to release a fully illustrated paperback and hardback copy of the book in October so that you can have that crisp physical version that you can proudly display on your shelf.
I want to speed up the process by hiring and training more people in the Nintendo 64 style and for game development. That's why Patreon is so important, because it allows me to be able to get to a point where I can pay people and build an elite team of creators who are personally trained by me to make the best quality they possibly can. For every $1,000 a month I make on Patreon, I can start to hire and train people at $700 a month. And this $700 a month is really just a weekly minimum of 9 hours a week, which comes to about $17 an hour. The Patreon is also temporary. If I, and by extension any possible team I put together, can make a few successful games, the Patreon comes down and we start giving back to our patrons who supported us in the early days. Me and James Yvonne have a 20-plus year plan he refuses to talk about publicly because it gives him anxiety and because he just doesn't want to be too unrealistic. But I'm sick of being realistic. That's why I'm here. To do the impossible and to ask for help to do the impossible.
If you can't support me on Patreon, that's okay. I don't really expect much, but I have to at least make my case before I throw it in the towel and shove these projects to the back burner to focus on cheaper products that are easier to make, just so I can get the head start I need to make the content I want to make.
Even if you're broke, you can still spread the word and get people talking about the guy who wants to make a Nintendo 64 styled games and needs support. I'm not trying to take money away from Nintendo by making a fan game. Heaven knows they have enough money. I'm using a mutual love for Zelda to build a following so that when I do launch my original game, it doesn't instantly die from being unknown IP. This is what ultimately killed 12 Slots Alone.
Let me close with this. Get out there. Create. Support your favorite creators. Don't consume products from companies who only care about your money. And if you don't want to support me, support someone else who needs it more. Thanks for listening to the end, and hopefully I'll see you all again soon. Take care.